Good morning, parents. A few things I want to catch you all up to date on in regards to how things are kind of running in my class, where we are, problems I'm seeing, and hopefully things you all can help me out with as we move forward. First thing, missing work. So at the moment, I am a little bit stressed out with the amount of missing assignments that I'm seeing in the grade book from the students. During the first week of school, I've tried to make it as clear to them as I possibly could that since they are virtual, there is going to be a lot more responsibility placed on their shoulders to be able to, hit due dates and to complete the work by the time that I need it to be completed so that I can, assess it, get it back to them quickly so they can see what their mistakes are and so they can make those revisions, resubmit, and essentially so they can, learn from their mistakes. But what I'm seeing is a lot of kids not even beginning their assignments, a lot of kids neglecting their assignments, and I only at the moment have one Z in the gradebook for one particular assignment from week one. There are, I think, two or three other assignments that I've yet to place Z's in the gradebook for the missing work. And I'm going to do that by the end of the day tomorrow. And I'm going to remind the kids of that today and tomorrow, that if there's anything that's still missing by the time that I leave the student services building on Friday, I'm going to put Z's in the grade book for that. And a lot of students are going to see their grades drastically change as a result. So if possible, please, ask your child to check gradebook, make sure they're not missing anything. Everything is labeled in such a way that it should be easy to find those assignments in Google Classroom. And if you're still confused, not sure what's going on, shoot me an email and I will help you get access to that assignment. I'll help you with any confusion that you have or your child has with that assignment, and we'll be sure to get that thing finished. All right, but the kids need to get the work done. The kids need to be able to do these things on their own, because the more and more assignments that they miss, the more and more that work's going to pile up, and the more and more difficult this is all going to get for all of us. So that being said, another issue that I've kind of discovered this week, since both 7th and 8th grade have started reading our class novels, The Giver for 8th grade and then The Outsiders for 7th grade, is I gave my first reading quiz yesterday and the day before to my 8th graders, and I was disappointed in how poorly a lot of them scored on it. My reading quizzes are the only thing that I give in my class that aren't redoable, and that's because they're typically like 3 to 5 questions long, and the questions are basically just recall questions. They're really simple questions. If the child read the chapters, there's really no way that they can miss those questions. I mean, it's things like, what's the main character's best friend's name? What's the name of their town? Just simple stuff like that. And I had a lot of kids, score a 1 out of 5 or 0 out of 5 or 2 out of 5. And that tells me that they're not doing their required reading. And I'm providing a lot of time to get this reading done, because once again, this is something that I can't really oversee very much like I would if we were in like a regular year where we'd be reading a lot more together in class, or I would provide in class time for them to read. Once again, this is something that's all on their shoulders. And I told the kids, if they're not doing the required reading, then the work that we're doing that goes along with those novels is just going to be, totally lost on them. And it's not going to make any sense if they're not reading what they're supposed to be reading. So those reading quizzes are not redoable. The score that the kid gets for that reading quiz stays that score. And so I'm hoping that that kind of, lights a fire under their butts a little bit to get their reading done by the time it's supposed to be done, so that we can, dig into those texts and really, have some fun with them, as opposed to everybody constantly having to, go back frantically, read the chapters as fast as they can just to get caught up. Okay, they should have plenty of time to get those chapters read by the time that we need to have them read. So if possible, please make sure that your child is doing their required reading. Ask them what they're supposed to have read for that week. I'm giving plenty of time to have chapters read. It's not like I'm assigning 5 chapters a day. It's typically like 3 chapters for a week, something like that. So please just make sure they're on top of that. And if you have any questions about what the assigned reading is, just shoot me an email and I will let you know. Okay, but the kids need to obviously get their work turned in on time, and they also need to get their reading completed. I told the kids yesterday, it's almost like all of them are pre-AP students this year, because they have so much more responsibility placed on their shoulders than they probably ever have before. And they're all capable of doing this. They just have to choose to do it. They have to set aside that time to do it. All right? So the next thing, I've had an issue with a bunch of kids not knowing how to access the gradebook to see what they're missing, to see what they need to get done. So if that is something that you or your child is struggling with, you're not sure how to access the Home Access Center, please send an email to Miss Black. She is the front office lady at Lincoln, and even if your child is not a Lincoln kid, I'm sure that she could either help you get their information or she could direct you to whomever you need to speak to get your child's information to get signed into the gradebook. All right, so kblack at bentonvillek12.org would be who I would reach out to, or who I would suggest you to reach out to if you need to access the gradebook for anything. And by this point, week 3, everybody should be able to get into the gradebook. Everybody should know how to do that. It's going to be very important moving forward, because if you or your child can't access the gradebook, then it's going to be hard to know what you need to get done and what your child is missing, etc., etc. Another thing, something I added to Google Classroom a week or so ago, and I showed the kids this, and I've already had quite a few kids use it, but I would like to extend it to you as well. If you would like to utilize the one-on-one focus scheduler, here's how you get to it. So it's in the same place for each of my classes, and you would go to classwork, and then down here along the left-hand side where the topics all are, at the very bottom, all caps, it says Focus Time Scheduler, and it's a Google form. And all the kid does is put their name, they select a couple of days and times that they would be able to meet with me, they tell me what they're needing help with specifically, and then anything else they need me to know, they complete it here, and then they submit. This sends me an email, as well as it also sends an alert to my phone, so that I usually get back to the kid within, no more than 24 hours with, which one of those times works best for me. I then put that time in my schedule, and then say the kid wants to meet Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Then Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I'll send the kid an email with a link to a Google Meet. That way he or she can meet with me one-on-one. We can talk about whatever they need to talk about. And typically we can take as long as we need to clear up any confusion or to work on any issues they might have. All right, so this is something that your students have access to, or your children have access to, and if you would like to also be involved in any of these meetings, or if you would just like to meet with me one-on-one, then you can also access this as well. Okay, if you have any trouble accessing this, shoot me an email, let me know, or as always, just a simple email works just fine too. So one more time, you go to Google Classroom, you go to Classwork, very bottom, Focus Time Scheduler, Google Form, fill that out. And I'm really pushing for the kids to use this when they want to meet with me, because it's a lot more organized, and it gives me, it gives them a chance to, I guess, in a more clear way, tell me when they want to meet and what they want to work on. It's much better than just sending me an email saying, I'm confused. This kind of, it not just kind of, it definitely is a lot better than that. Last thing, don't forget, we are doing our map testing next week, Monday and Tuesday. So for Monday, we're doing 3rd period, 8th grade, and then on Tuesday, I'm doing 6th period, 7th period, 7th grade, and then 8th period, 8th grade. And I sent an email out yesterday in regards to map testing and the help that I'll need on your end in order to do that, and to do that accurately to get the results that we need to get. So please check your email, make sure you got that. If you didn't get that email, let me know and I'll send it to you again. But just know that next Monday and Tuesday going to be pretty busy days, because those map tests can take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. All right, so these are the things that I'm just asking for your assistance with. I'm asking for your help with. Missing work and kids not doing their reading. Those are the big issues that we really need to, clean up before the year gets too much, till we get too much deeper into the quarter, into the year, because I'm already starting to see in the grade book kids with 2, 3, 4 missing assignments, and when I plug those Z's in tomorrow, if those things still aren't done, that's going to be a really big hole to already have to dig themselves out of to start the year off. So please have your child check their grade book. Please have your child get that missing work submitted to me. Please make sure they're doing their reading. And if you have any questions at all about this, let me know. Shoot me an email. Complete the one-on-one focus scheduler form so we can meet if you'd like to. And I really appreciate all the help that you guys are giving me. All the help that I'm getting from all the parents is awesome. All the correspondences I've had with you all has been very awesome. And It's going to take a village this year to get things done. So I appreciate your help. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will try to send out another video sometime in the next week or so with any updates that are necessary. Thank you.